Do you both? Okay.
I blew it on that one.
Oh, we enjoy it.
Maybe I'm not tipping it enough.
Right. Yeah, that's probably what you're doing.
I don't think I'm tipped.
There you
See,
go.
because you tip to the side, I'm tipping straight in, and I think I need to tip it to the side. It's tough when the boss is watching. Business, and how do you learn the ins and outs of what makes for a good beer?
I started homebrewing over 20 years ago.
Okay.
Read a book called The Joy of Homebrewing by Charlie Papazian, and started making beer. About 7 years ago, my wife and I started dating. She came over to my house one day. I was actually making a Meriton. She said, at the end of the day, she said, that doesn't look hard. So I said, okay, well, then you make it on my system, my recipe next week. So next weekend she brewed it. And then we entered the Colorado State Fair about 3 months later. She won gold, I won silver. So I'll give you a little idea on how our day starts here. We take about 7 bags of grain, dump it into the mill over there, and then it augers up into this top tank here, which is our mash tun. We add about 165-degree water into the cracked grains, let it sit for an hour and a half. And what that does is converts all the starches to sugars. It'll sit in these tanks with yeast in it for about 2 weeks. And that whole time, what's happening is the yeast is converting the sugars to alcohol and to CO2. We cap ours off early so we get natural CO2 in ours. But after we sit here for 2 weeks, we'll drain the yeast off, and then we'll pump this down to the basement into our serving tanks. We've been open for 3 weeks now. We have 10 employees. We have 5 full-time employees and 5 part-time employees that are servers for us. So,
Wonderful.
yeah, in 3 weeks' time, we have 10 employees now.
Well, and we'll talk about it in a little while, but you were also saying you've helped some of the businesses in the immediate neighborhood increase their food sales.
Right, exactly. The D-Note, which is 2 doors down from us, they sell an extra 20 to 30 pizzas a week. Mannequin Fritz right next door, they sell about twice as many French fries as they did before we opened. All of the local restaurants will deliver food to your table. So it's really been a community thing. And we've actually had people as far away as Grand Junction come to Arvada just to try Arvada Beer Company beers.
Wow.
Being a startup, no banks want to talk to you.
Right.
Impossible. We ended up using all of our own funds to do this. We had probably a little over 10% from investors. That's something I definitely like to see change, make it a little bit easier, because on day one we had 10 new jobs we created. And I think that's important for this community. And I think it's important for the United States too.
It's not just startups like the Arvada Beer Company that can't find loans. Businesses of all sizes tell me the reason they can't create more jobs is that they can't find the capital in the form of either new investments or loans that they need in order to grow. We've got to fix that. So I introduced a small business lending bill that would help businesses find the capital they need to expand and start hiring. It's called the Capital Access for Main Street Act, or CAMS for short, and it will help our smaller community banks make more loans to our local businesses. The best part? It's bipartisan, it's common sense, and it will do a lot of good for the little guy. Visit perlmutterforcolorado.com to sign our petition supporting small businesses.